A true story. Krzysztof, the man who changed his life by learning English. Part 1. Life in a small town with big dreams. Krzysztof was born in 1985 in a small town in southern Poland. This town, known for its industrial factories and farming, had a quiet but limited life. People there were used to being born, studying, working, and retiring in the same place. Krzysztof's father worked in a steel factory, and his mother was an elementary school teacher. His family had a middle-class financial situation, neither poor nor wealthy. But one thing was different about Krzysztof. He always thought about life, beyond his town's borders. As a child, he loved watching travel documentaries. He wanted to know about other countries, and always asked himself, how can I leave this town one day and see the world? Part 2. First encounter with English and learning difficulties. At school, Krzysztof was introduced to English for the first time, but English education in Polish schools focused mostly on grammar and memorization. I am, you are, he is. This is a book. That is a pen. His teacher would usually write on the board, I am, you are, he is. This is a book. That is a pen. Krzysztof memorized these sentences, but never learned how to speak English. He got passing grades in school, but when he saw an English tourist in his town asking for directions, he couldn't say a full sentence. Part 3. Entering the workforce and feeling stuck. After graduating from high school, Krzysztof didn't have many options. He could go to university, but his family couldn't afford the tuition fees. So, like many of his friends, he decided to work in the steel factory. The factory was filled with loud noises and extreme heat. Every morning at 5 a.m., he woke up, put on his work clothes, and worked 10 hours in a place full of smoke and heavy machinery. At night, when he got home, he was so exhausted that he could only eat and sleep. After 2 years of working in the factory, Krzysztof realized he couldn't live like this forever. But he didn't see a way out. Part 4. A spark for change. One day, the factory manager announced that the company needed employees who could work with foreign clients. This job involved international travel and a higher salary, but the main requirement was fluency in English. Krzysztof thought to himself, if I knew English, I could get this job and change my life. But the problem was that he couldn't even have a simple conversation. Part 5. Starting to learn English. Krzysztof decided that he would learn English no matter what. But the problem was that he had neither the time nor the money to attend language classes. So he tried free and self-learning methods. 1. Watching movies and YouTube videos. Krzysztof started watching English movies with Polish subtitles. At first, he understood nothing, but gradually he began learning some words. 2. Practicing speaking to himself. Today, I am happy. I will go to work. I want to learn English. Every day he stood in front of the mirror and repeated simple sentences. For example, he would say, Today, I am happy. I will go to work. I want to learn English. 3. Using language learning apps, Duolingo. Krzysztof tried various language learning apps like Duolingo. These apps helped him become more familiar with English words and phrases. Part 6. First attempts at real conversations. Krzysztof decided to test his language skills in the real world. He joined language exchange websites and looked for someone to speak English with. The first time he had a conversation with an online friend from the UK, he was scared that he wouldn't be able to speak. But when he started speaking, he realized that he understood much more than he thought and was able to respond. This experience gave him a lot of confidence. Part 7. A trip to England and the real language test. After 2 years of learning English, Krzysztof decided to travel to England. He wanted to test his skills in the real world and make sure that he could speak English well. He went to London and faced many challenges. The speed at which people I spoke was much faster than he expected. However, he didn't run away from this experience. The first time he asked a shopkeeper a what question, he felt a lot of anxiety. But the shopkeeper smiled and answered him, adding a few more sentences in English. This simple conversation was a huge victory for Krzysztof. Part 8. Returning to Poland and starting a new life. After returning to Poland, Krzysztof felt that his life had changed. He was no longer the man who worked in a factory and thought about a limited future. He had now entered a new world where English could open doors for him. He began searching for new job opportunities. Thanks to the English skills he had gained, he was able to land a job at an international company. Part 9. New successes and new challenges. Krzysztof now worked with colleagues from all over the world. Not only had he become more fluent in English, but he also had a better understanding of different cultures and customs. But every advancement brought new challenges. On a business trip to the United States, Krzysztof had to negotiate with people from different cultures for the first time. This experience taught him that language is not just a tool for communication, but also a bridge for understanding and collaborating with others. Part 10. Continuing the journey and achieving dreams. Years passed since Krzysztof worked in the steel factory. Now he held a managerial position in an international company and traveled to various countries. He remembered how he once pushed himself to learn English and what challenges he had overcome. But now he could proudly say that learning English had changed his life. Krzysztof never had to search for the right words to speak anymore. Today, he not only knew English, but also used it as a tool to connect with the world.